Hello friends, today our discussion topic is spirometry. Okay. So first we see the content, introduction, definition, purposes, indications, contraindication, types of spirometer, measurement of inspiratory capacity, nursing process, and last we have some questions. Introduction. Spirometry is also referred as a sustained maximal inspiration device. This is used in respiratory function is altered in those patients who had any surgery, prolonged anesthesia, and bedridden. This device is given to these patients to improve their airway. Definition: incentive spirometry is a process to improve the volume of air that is being breathed in and out of the lung by initiating voluntary deep breathing using special design incentive spirometer device. Purposes: to increase the respiratory volume, maintain the alveolar ventilation and prevent atelectasis. Atelectasis is a condition in which alveoli are partially or completely collapsed and deflatted, means they are constricted. The space in the alveoli is decreased. And second purpose, to contract the effect of atelectasis and hypoventilation, to lose the secretion that present in the respiratory airway, to reduce the chance of fluid accumulation in lungs, for example in rib fractures, to facilitate the gas exchanges, to expand the collapsed alveoli, to prevent the post-operative pulmonary complications, and in some lung diseases like asthma and bronchitis or emphysema. Indications are prolonged bedridden patient uh, can use this spirometry device. Surgery may alter the function of respiratory functions. Post-operative patient recover from cardiac surgery, and prolonged anesthesia. Fracture disease include respiratory muscles like COPD, bronchial asthma, etc. Contraindication: patient who are unable to breathe effectively. Second is unconscious patient. So these are the contraindications. Types of spirometer: there are two types: volume oriented, and second is the flow spirometer. In volume oriented, the tidal volume of the spirometer is set based on the manufacturer instructions. This device is this type of spirometer calculates the volume of air inhaled by a patient. So it is there is no need to calculate the inspiratory volume. It can be preset and pre-mentioned in the spirometer. Second is the flow uh, spirometer. It is not in this device the tidal volume is not be set. It measure the patient's inspiratory effort in a cubic centimeter per second. The amount of air inhaled and flow of air is established how much long and how height wall are suspended. And if a patient have inspiratory capacity is a 600 ml per liter ml per second, means that rise the first wall. If the inspiratory capacity is 900 ml per second, means the both first and second wall are raised. If the capacity is 1200 milliliter per second, the all the three wall are raised. The the wall or height of the spirometer will rise the response on the intensity of intake of air. Measurement of the inspiratory capacity: volume is calculated by multiplying per second needed to suspend the wall by a number of seconds by which a wall is suspended. For example, if 600 milliliter per second are suspended for the 3 second, we can the patient can hold for breathe for 3 seconds, means the inspiratory capacity is 1800 milliliter per second. If 900 ml the second wall are rise for 30 seconds, the inspiratory capacity of person is 2700 milliliter per second. Nursing process assessment. In assessment, review the medical records for recent ABG to determine the need of using spirometer. Second, assess the respiratory status by general observation, auscultation of breath sound, and percussion of thorax to compare the future assessment of baseline evaluation. Nursing diagnosis. There are three diagnoses. One is the impaired gas exchange, effective airway clearness, effective breathing patterns. Expected outcomes. Uh, these are the patient attain clear breath sound throughout the lung is filled. But we specially focus on the base of the lungs. Exhibit normal depth and rate of respiration and attain a normal ABG value. Plannings. In plannings, first we arrange the articles. So here's stethoscope. Their purpose to auscultate the breath sound. Incentive spirometer with the appropriate mouthpiece to improve the airway. Tissue paper to wipe the secretion. Kidney to discard the waste. Pillow to promote the comfort. Implementation. In implementation, we do the procedure. First, in a nursing action, explain the procedure, purposes, and mechanism of spirometer, and explain the patient that spirometer wall will be raised depending upon the intensity of air inhaled. They are rational to enhance the cooperation of the patient. Wash the hand to reduce the cross infection and transmission of microorganisms. Administration of pain medication if needed, because the pain can interfere with the deep breathing, and incentive spirometer is not more effective in a pain conditions. Demonstrate the deep inspiration, because deep inspiration help to come out the secretions, and demonstration is a reliable teaching technique. Instructs the patient to maintain the semi-polar and high-polar position to promote the lung expansion. For post-operative patient, minimize their discomfort and instruct and assist the patient with the splint of incision. The splint reduce the stress on the incision area during the procedure. So by applying the splint on the incision area, in the sutures and incision area will not be open. Set the tidal volume and incentive spirometer at an appropriate level where the wall should be reached. Explain the patient to reach the preset rate. So encourage to reach the appropriate rate. Explain the patient to breathe in and exhale completely before using the spirometer. It promotes the clearing of excretion before using the spirometer. Hold the spirometer in upright position. Steady the device with one hand and other hand holding the mouthpiece. That prevent the ineffective use of spirometer. If the spirometer is in tilted condition, the wall will rise in less effort, and the volume oriented device will not function well if the device is tilted. After exhalation, inform the patient to keep lips around the mouthpiece and inhale slowly and deeply until the wall are raised. For that, the rationale of keep lips around the mouthpiece to form a seal against the air leak. Encouraged to hold the breath at least for 3 seconds initially and then increased up to 6 seconds if it is possible. Instruct the patient to remove the lips from the mouthpiece and exhale slowly. It allows the bronchioles to remain open and discourage the atelectasis because a patient can inhale the air for 3 to 6 seconds. The the alveoli are open for 3 to 6 seconds, and that help to come the alveoli in uh, their position, back to their position. Okay, repeat the exercise for 10 to 20 seconds every 1 to 2 hours to prevent the atelectasis. Have him and her rest as a needed to promote their comfort, and instruct the patient to cup after the procedure because cup facilitates the removal of loosened secretions. Dispose the spoiled tissue, wash and dry the equipments as per the manufacturer policy, because if uh, moisture are present in the spirometer spirometer tube, that can be enhance the growth of bacteria. Okay, wash the hand to reduce cross infection after the procedure, and instruct the patient about cleaning the mouthpiece with the soap and water every 24 hours, and proper disposal of soiled respiratory material to prevent the infections. Observe the patient's ability to use the incentive spirometer by return demonstration, because it facilitates the use of spirometer by patient without supervision. So we can uh, say that the patient can do procedure without any supervision. Assess if the patient is able to achieve target volume or frequency. It shows that lungs are do their effective work. Auscultate the chest during the respiratory cycle when the patient has a clean breath sound throughout the lung field, especially at the base. So it shows the lung sound indicates normal respiratory function. Last we have documentation. In documentation we write the lung volume in the cubic centimeter, and respiratory assessment include the auscultation and breath sound and their depth and rate of respiration. And also we write the type and amount of secretion are expectorate. This is for the future reference and planning for the care. Now evaluation. In evaluation, first we see the first we see the patient have a clear breath sound throughout the lung, and he and she has a normal rate and depth of the respiration. ABG value are normal. There are no labeled respiration, means the during the respiration the patient mm, do not do any effort. The respiration is is a smoothly. No effort is used. Assess the following complications in the evaluation. First is the pneumothorax. Pneumothorax is a condition in which the air is leaked into the lung and the chest wall. So the air are present between the lung and the chest wall. Increased intracranial pressure. Syncope is a condition in which a patient are unconscious for a temporary time and he is fainted. Okay. Proximal coughing is a coughing in which a patient can cough frequently and violently. Okay. Nosocomial infection, oxygen desaturation, and bronchospasm. Now we have some questions. The nurse is teaching a client about coughing and deep breathing techniques to prevent the post-operative complication. Which statement is most appropriate for a nurse to make a client at this time as it related to this technique? First, use of an incentive spirometer will help you to prevent pneumonia. Close monitoring of your oxygen saturation will detect hypoxia. Administration of intravenous fluid will prevent or treat the fluid imbalance. Early ambulation and administration of blood thinner will prevent pulmonary embolism. So the right answer is the use of incentive spirometer, because uh, during uh, deep breathing and coughing, during deep breathing and coughing, the thick secretions are come out from the respiratory airway, and in condition of pneumonia, it is in this condition the secretion are present in the airway. Okay. In airway in the lung. So deep breathing and coughing prevent the pneumonia. Next question. The nurse is conducting preoperative teaching with a client about the use of spirometer. The nurse should include which piece of information in a discussion with the client? First, inhale rapidly as possible. Keep a loose seal between the lip and the mouthpiece. And third, after maximum inspiration, hold the breath for 15 seconds and then exhale. The best result to achieve when sitting up or bed, the head of elevated 45 to 90 degrees. So the right answer is the option D. When a person sit upright and in the semi-fowler and fowler position, lung will be more expand, and the patient can inhale more air. So that the by that the alveoli will increase their space, and that prevent from atelectasis, pneumonia, and other diseases. Okay. Next. Next is the uh, which client statement inform the nurse that his teaching about the proper use of an incentive spirometer will affect. First, I should breathe out as fast as hard as possible into the device. Second, I should inhale slowly and steadily to keep the wall up. Third is I should use the device 3 times a day after a meal. And D is the entire device should be washed thoroughly with the water once a day. So here the right answer is the mm, I should inhale slowly and steadily to keep the wall up, because when we inhale rapidly and fast, the 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 target of inhale to inhale the air is not be completed. Okay, so when we inhale slowly and steadily, the more air is inhaled for longer time. Our next question. The nurse teach a patient how to use incentives pyrometer. What patient outcome will support the conclusion that use of spirometer is effective. So, supplement oxygen use will be reduced. Inspiratory volume will be increased. The sputum will expectorate, and coughing will stimulate. So here the right option is the inspiratory volume. So it will be increased. The purpose of this spirometry is to increase the inspiratory volume after the anesthesia, after any surgery, and post-operative patient can use to increase their respiratory function. Our last question. If a practitioner order just physiotherapy to percussion and vibrate on a newly admitted patient, which information about a nurse during a health history should alter the nurse to question the practitioner order? First, emphysema, osteoporosis, cystic fibrosis, and last is chronic bronchitis. So the right answer is the osteoporosis, because in osteoporosis uh, the bone mm, are soft. The strength of the bone is weak. So when we apply the pressure, the chances of breaking of bone is increased. So in case in the patient who are uh, in condition of osteoporosis, we cannot do percussions and vibration on that. Okay, I hope you understand the spirometry procedure and their types and contraindication, indications, purposes. Thank you for watching my video.